You ready, Steve? Okay. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Home.
If your American dream is painted on a canvas neatly folded in the corner of Norman Rockwell's mind, New Orleans is a hurricane beating down your coast. If you close your eyes and feel the easy ride of a St. Charles streetcar, where a solo tuba blows the scent of magnolias down narrow streets, and everyone plays possum with the heat, and no one's too big or too small to paint their tongue with a snowball, where former slaves pay homage to the first Americans by masking in suits of rhinestones and bright-colored feathers that turned carpenters into Indian chiefs, doing rain dances on Congo Square where the drums drum and the wine drink and the big chiefs sing. Somebody give me a quarter, 'cause pretty big chief wants some water. If you can envision the souls of yesterday living in the music that rises from the cracks in the sidewalks, then New Orleans is your dream, with a heart as soft as a Spanish moss dripping from centuries-old oak trees. She's a pretty face with dirty feet, the good witch of Lake Pontchartrain, the spice god of shrimp and crawfish, keeping the spirits fed. Communities of windowless monuments, masquerading as cemeteries, tower above ground, no earth or worms to cover the flesh, no silver bullets to turn out the spirits that still dance with her. So twirl your umbrella and wave your bandana. It's carnival time and everybody's happy. Armed with the blueprint of civilization, the New World stormed in with enough cement and asphalt to pave a boulevard back to Paris. And the spirit of the swamp still hasn't submitted, leaving mildewed kisses of disapproval on everything foreign to the wetlands. The wrecking ball could not turn out the spirit of Storyville. Catholicism could not turn out the spirit of Marie Laveau. And death could not turn out the spirit of Louis Armstrong. When yesterday hangs on to forever, tradition is a temple.
This is my granddaughter, Asia. Say hey, hi Asia. Say hi to the camera. Hey. You know, it's another line of musicians coming up, and she really surprised me. She actually can blow the tuba, and the trombone also. You want to blow for him? Okay, here we go. This is amazing. You ready? Wait. One more time, blow. Okay, blow the other way. There you go. All right, one more time. Blow again. Do this one. All right, do that. Blow it again. Don't do it the other way. There you go. Now let's do it blow together. Papa and you blow together, okay? Ready? Ready? Blow hard. Woo! Do it again. Woo! All right, yeah. Asia. All right, she's playing the tuba.
Is jazz music a dying art form? I can't really say that.
Especially not down here.
The people seem to love jazz all over the world. I think it's dying in America.
I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. Be ready about 8:30. Now, baby, don't be late. I wanna be there when the band start playing. Remember, when we get there, honey, 2 steps we gonna have a ball. We gonna dance off our shoes when the band plays the Jelly Roll Blues. Oh, tomorrow night at the Dogtown Strutters Ball. Yeah, yeah. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, baby. Be ready about 8:30. Now, baby, don't be late. I wanna be there when the band start playing. Remember, when we get there, honey, 2 steps we gonna have a ball. We gonna dance off our shoes when the band plays the Jelly Roll Blues. Oh, tomorrow night at the hip, 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 yeah.
On a national level, jazz has been reduced to something you go to a museum to hear. You sit down, you hear it, you have the polite applause, or it might be something that's played in the background.
A lot of the young musicians say, oh, times have changed. Sure, times have changed. But life is still the same. Just because time changed don't mean you have to change with the time and change the tradition of what's been going on before me, you, your father, your grandfather, and everybody else was born.
This place is like an oasis almost. It's very, very special because you have all these different grooves and different feels that can coexist in any time period, and they never get old.
We appreciate each other's talent. You know, we'll go and sit in and see, oh yeah, and we'll cheer somebody on, and they'll call you up and come, you know, come sit in, and we'll get up and sit in, and then they cheer you on. It's just like so much encouragement, you know, from each other. It's really a cool environment to be in. Really cool.
Come on!
Some of those kids didn't grow up and see that. So I have to understand why they don't understand. They didn't see it.
Strip away the layers. You will find the drum and the bambula rhythm. West Africa's gift to the New World. Transported from the Serengeti to the alluvial soils of the Mississippi. Add the music of French horns and cast-offs. Add the music of Spain. Give birth to syncopation. Add the music of the river and the swamp. Add the music of the indigenous. Inspire the great composer Louis Garcha. Add the music of Saint Domingue and Havana. Throw in the European brass. Add the music of Haitian aristocrats, mistresses of color and slaves, whose collective numbers doubled the population of the blessed city. Add theirs. Add the stiff music of the Americans, the sanctimonious music of the church, and the decadent music of whorehouses. Add the music of the world that traveled to the mouth of the river by way of ship. Let it all marinate in the humidity of the colorful and the chaotic. Let it cook and pass it to the one. By the powers vested in the manifestation of hot brass, full lungs, and soft lips, give it to the musical messiah. Born amongst the downtrodden, the one who unapologetically wrapped his arms around a whore and called her wife. The one who received this annunciation from the sweet notes of Freddie Keppard while dreaming on the cot of a home for wayward boys. Give it to the one who picked up the trumpet in this same home. Satchel, Pops, Dippermouth, watch him change the world. Give it to him, this musical gumbo marinated in the humidity of the colorful and the chaotic for over 200 years. Give it to him. Let him elevate it and elevate us. Let him take it from New Orleans to Chicago, New York, and Europe. Watch him make the world swing. And in honor of his first disciples, Mary Lucy, Slippers, and Black Benny, let it be a reminder from this day forward to all of the lives that have been directly or indirectly enhanced by the sounds of our musical messiah, that there's gold in them ghettos.
Right now you're in the Tremé, the heart of the Tremé, what we call the Sixth Ward of New Orleans. And the Tremé is a very historical New Orleans neighborhood where a lot of great jazz musicians were born and raised.
I grew up in a neighborhood where they had a lot of musicians, such as Alphonse Picou, Georgia Lewis, and everyone in the Tremé area had a piano, baby grand piano.
I can remember as a kid growing up in this neighborhood on the same block, which is St. Philip and Tremé and Marie. I remember as a kid they had plenty of houses here. I had a lot of friends here that grew up with me on the same block that moved years ago so they could open up this park. And right down the street was the original Caledonia, which was like the bar of the neighborhood. And Professor Longhair used to live right on top. I was a little bitty boy when that was going on. And I remember going to school, listening to Professor Longhair and them. They had been playing all night. They've been hanging out and just jamming.
So there was always something going on around that way.
When I go to Mardi Gras, I go to a second line parade, or you know, I sit down and eat a plate of red beans and rice on a Monday.
Like red beans on Monday. That's traditional. You know what I'm saying?
Traditions also helps to bind us to a place, you know, because we have that memory. And then when you tie the history into it, and those people who preceded us, and we understand that they, lived in similar ways. There were black people who formed these organizations so that they could take care of their members. If somebody needed help with their rent, if someone died and needed help being buried, or anything like that, this club would be there to aid and assist the family. The aspect of associating pleasure clubs that's most visible at this point is the parades. Almost every Sunday you can go to a parade, and it'd be the Social Aid and Pleasure Club there. They would have a brass band, and they would have a route to let everybody know where they're gonna go, and they'd just have a parade through the neighborhood. (1718), they took us to New Orleans. 200 slaves. Who could be so mean? Senegambia is from where we came. Shipped in slave chains to the Congo plain. Got our culture at the barrel of a gun. Erased our name. We still got our drum. We still got our dance. We still got our song. Got a slave 6 days, working hard and long. But Sunday is our day. We gonna dance and sing our troubles away. We ain't picking no rice. We ain't shucking no corn. We gonna dance our dance and sing our song. Dance for Shango underneath the sun. We're gonna wake the spirits when we play the drum. Les Calenda on Congo Square. Bambula, like we just don't care. Calenda on Congo Square. Bambula, like we just don't care.
You go in certain parts of New Orleans and you can hear some of the best contemporary jazz in the world. Then you can go into other parts of New Orleans and hear some of the best rhythm and blues you ever heard in the world. Then you can go into another room and hear some of the greatest gospel you ever, this is what New Orleans is about.
It's all combined together. It's like one package, man. It's like a lot of different stuff inside.
Even though it is in the deep South, if you were going to compare New Orleans to other cities, you might have a better chance if you compared it to other cities in the Caribbean.
Down in the Bahamas, I can relate to some of the rhythms down there. Some of them sound so much like the things in New Orleans, with a combination of all of them put together. It's what you hear when you hear in New Orleans. You see what I'm saying? Like if you hear bits and pieces of Africa, you hear bits and pieces of the islands. You just feel like this place it's not even connected with the USA, really, to me. When you're in New Orleans, you just feel like you're just away from everybody, everything.
A little island.
Yeah.
Whenever, cultures seem to clash into each other, new things come out. You got a lot of slaves coming here directly from Africa. In the early part of the 1800s, the population of the city doubled because of the Haitians who had to flee Cuba. There was just so many different influences that all came right here. Then it's all being sort of filtered through the churches, and through juke joints. And so it comes out on the other side and it has a certain form to it. And I would like to think that a guy like Louis Armstrong took that and just took it to an entirely different level.
All of my dreams I'm like, yeah, working on the radio. Thought about to lose my mind. Lord, can't you hear the
Calypso, Cuban, Latino, reggae. The second line beat is influenced with all of that. I put a little second line in everything, you know. I'll be on a gig and they say Latin. I say, okay, yeah. Second line is always in there, you know what I'm saying?
Sister Gertrude Morgan said, Lord, 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 sure been good to me. I said, Lord, 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 sure been good to me. I said, Lord, 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 sure been good to me. And I know you saved my soul from misery. Hey, you woke me up this morning, sure been good to me. Oh, you woke me up this morning, sure been good to me. You woke me up this morning, sure been good to me. And I know you saved my soul from misery.
You know, I learned how to play, I started playing drums right next door. That's what I'm sure, I'll just show it to you right quick. Oh, my man. This is St. Philip Street, Church of God in Christ. This is where I grew up playing music in this church. It's a very original, sanctified church in New Orleans. Right next door to my house. People ask me about the tambourine all the time, you know?
I said, Lord, 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 sure been good to me. And
I play the tambourine like I play it. And I always tell the story about the beautiful women that was playing tambourine in here when I was a kid. There had so many women in there playing tambourine. They had the big, heavy tambourine. I could hardly hold it up. And they were beating the tambourine like unbelievable. And I would sit there and watch, you know. I said, wow. And every now and then I'd pick it up and one of those ladies would show me, you know. She said, no, let me show you how to do that, child. And like I said, it was so heavy I couldn't hardly do this to it, you know. I was so young.
And I know you saved my soul from misery. Hey, now, Lord, 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 I'm in your prayer. I say, Lord, 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 I'm in your prayer. Lord, 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 I'm in your prayer. And I know you saved my soul from misery. Here come the reaper.
My church background is different because I grew up in a Catholic church in Baton Rouge. You know, so I mean, that was totally different. You know, folks weren't stomping and clapping. If they would clap, it would be a unison type clap that they didn't clap. Folks didn't clap.
You go to Catholic church, you know what to expect. You understand? Bring your knee pads. You go up and down. You know what I'm saying? You go to Baptist church, you may want to bring your earpiece and plug it in. You're gonna get something loud.
I came up learning church hymns, all church hymns. By and by, just a closer walk with thee. What a friend we have in Jesus. Today in brass bands and traditional bands, everyone will play some type of gospel song or church hymn.
So you start relating some of these sounds to what you do at church, you know, with your harmonies and things like that. Because that's what I had to get the harmonies out in these choirs when I was a youngster.
R&B would be incorporated in some of the gospel tunes at church. You know, it kind of got that feel to it.
With the blues saying about, you know, my woman left me, or Ray Charles saying, you know, I'm busted, you know. That same passion and that same soul came from the church.
Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
If you ever really did any hard work when you was coming up, made a lot of guys whistle and a lot of guys sing. And that's how you got past your hurt. is the pain. So because tomorrow you're gonna do the same pain again, because you're gonna have to go back to it. And you're gonna have to go back to sadness. Music, it was some part that you fought back.
And the walls came tumbling down. Well, the ram horns, they began to blow, and the trumpets began to sound. And Joshua commanded the children to shout, and the walls came tumbling down. Hallelujah! Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
Rampart Street is the street where the French Quarter and the Tremé meet. Down in New Orleans, it's the land of dreams. There's something funky in the air. It's not just how it seems. If you go there, you see Congo Square, peace to the ancestors. It's the place where the music was born on Rampart Street. Cosmo Metastasis is so sweet. It's the studio that recorded the beat, made the whole world move their feet when New Orleans turned up the heat on Rampart Street. You never know how it feels till you've seen Shannon Powell play at Donna's Bar and Grill. You might want to stay for a while, cause he's a funky New Orleans drummer with a funky New Orleans style. Tell a brass band to blow their horns. It's the place where the music was born over 17 years. Charlie's in the kitchen, Donna's serving beers.
I do barbecue ribs, I do red beans and rice, I do barbecue rib tips, I do all kinds of stuff. It was a gift. Came to me. My parents, my grandmother. I went to school, was in the Navy, worked for the railroad. We've had this place for 17 years. I've been running it myself for 10. This is my 10th year, and my wife ran it for 7 years.
I'm Michael Sims. I'm actually Charlie's son. I'm the better half. All right, the younger half of the
The youngest half.
The youngest. You see that? Came back here to hang out with him. He's just putting me to work. Supposed to be working somewhere else. He's got me working. It never ends, man. That is one thing about this kitchen. If you come in and hang out, you will get put to work. You won't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to close down every summer, and I'd stay closed all of July because I go to Florida. That was my vacation. I have cooked many a fish, boy, but I've never caught one. We were grandfathered in, and we didn't have a music license, but we didn't have to have one. We were there on the 3 mayors. We kind of revived brass bands, because we used to play 9 brass bands a week. 1 each night for 7 nights, and then on Friday and Saturday we'd do 2. Different band every night. Now, at the time there were 18 brass bands in the city, and I played all 18 of them. They'll tell you, some of the young guys now, some of the guys that are playing now, they got started with us. Okay, now go back. Yeah, which I played the dozen, I played Rebirth, I played all of them. And you sit back and you reminisce, over what you did and what happened and all of this kind of stuff. It's a good life, honestly. I enjoy my life. Hey.
If there's any danger in jazz and every other type of individual or regional or music that has this sort of kind of folk element in it, I think the more available information is, the harder it is to find regional differences. I think we're kind of moving in that direction because of the availability of information. I was wondering about that. Tradition is a temple. And here's this, like, you know, college professor white dude from Chicago. So, sorry, you know, but I have been down here since 1994. Sort of officially New Orleanian now. Kind of. You know, as human beings, we're all faced with these various challenges of survival that are kind of set. Tradition gives us some framework that we can use to navigate our way through these challenges of everyday living. You know, which for some of us might be playing music, for some of us it might be doing something else. Of course, I don't really have any hair, but like the way you part your hair. You know, and really, for the most part, for almost like 99% was the way your mother parted it when you're 3 years old. You know, right? The way you do all sorts of things. These traditions that are, you know, sometimes they're from your family, sometimes they're from your neighborhood.
Shabatula goes to the market every day. He's a fisherman. After running through Julia and 3 Greek muses, he comes to Felicity. Napoleon plows through the Roman Colosseum, gathering steam at a camp, headed straight for Chapatulas. Chapatulas have already heard the muffled submissions to Napoleon's fury after passing through Milan and Constantinople. So he raced to warn the Chippewa that they shouldn't cross Napoleon. The Chippewa like to stay pleasant and close to harmony, so they make an about-face at Louisiana. Chapatula runs up the other side of the river to warn the other Chippewa. Instead, he runs into Robert, Amelia, Eleanor, and Duvasat, living his version of the movie Groundhog Day, titled, Where Did All the White People Come From? In New Orleans, religious run from nuns, and saints double-cross each other like two-bit hustlers. St. Claude crossed St. Philip. St. Philip became so distraught, he ran straight for the bourbon. St. Claude used to run with good children. He's a Renaissance man. Every day he's running to music, art, desire, and piety, looking for the lost poet hidden beneath the rock. Every day in New Orleans, St. Claude runs from a flood to Poland and France and Spain. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. meets with the Spanish governors Galvez and Miro. They try convincing him they're straight shooters. But every day, they meet up with St. Bernard and end up being crooked. People always whispering about the Frenchman. Well, I can tell you, I saw him when he disappeared into the quarter, and I saw him when he came out. I can assure you, that Frenchman was never straight.
It's always been a dying art. I mean, it's like this long, tedious, lingering death. Even when there was a record business, jazz was about 0.5% of the record business. So now there's no record business.
I noticed the young bands of today, tempo is different, and they marching faster, all right? And the dance also has changed. You take a youngster of today, offer them some money to dance a waltz, they can't do it.
So we don't be serious about it, and the kids can't be serious about it. They have no idea what's going on. Nobody's telling them where it came from. I don't think the kids in the city even know where jazz came from. Most of them. I don't think they even have classes in the schools like that. You know, do they?
That's what it is. It's a shame that you live here and that you can appreciate a second line band and you're dancing to the music and you're all into it. And oh my goodness, they have a second line on Claiborne and St. Bernard. And you have no idea where it came from. That's just a shame.
The local people of New Orleans have that responsibility to make sure that people remember Louis Armstrong, Mahalia Jackson. And I would sure hope people don't forget me.
America has a tendency to upgrade so much to where traces of older things get lost. And in jazz music, you have those that are actually trying to expand on New Orleans traditions and using New Orleans traditions in their music. And then you have those who basically have never heard that music ever. They're not interested in anything that's happened before the year of 2000, and they're only utilizing the newest music. And frankly, that to me is a limited perspective, and it limits their music.
Jazz is art music. There's always going to be people who want to give it, so that to that extent, it's not dying at all.
After Katrina hit, a lot of kids actually, when they found out that, this culture is dying. Benny Jones, Uncle Lionel, a couple other musicians said, man, look, we need to get these kids some instruments, let them start forming their own bands.
Today, they got so many bands out here today. Help keep the tradition alive. At one time, it got kind of slow, but now you got tons of bands out there today. Every week, they got different brands popping up from all through. So the music is really speeding back up again,
Even those kids who live on the corner, they have their own little second line band. And you hear them outside practicing at 3 o'clock. And their cousins are musicians and their uncles are musicians.
Living around musicians like down the street is good because whenever I need something, I could just either start playing outside and they'll just come, or I could call them or do a certain call out for them and they'll come. That once they hear the music, they'll just come running to it.
And actually, Glenn was playing sports before he was playing music. After the storm, he just took music and full gear and kind of put other stuff on the shelf. It was like he had a few things he can do, and he just took music to another level, and I think that's what he really loved. So now it look like it's all music.
Traditional music is more old school, you should say, but it also relates because all music is music and all of them have melodies and chords and a beat. Well, I try to make my band, sound like a traditional band when we have to and hip hop when we have to. And sometimes we put it together so we can let the people enjoy what we're playing. And also the old time people could enjoy it too.
poor environment. I come up out of the free housing projects, and I could have been like one of those bad boys out there in that environment. A lot of people were saying traditional jazz was dying, okay, and some, not just locals, people from New Orleans. There was a lot of Europeans would say, oh, there's not enough young musicians out there, they're not playing anymore. After my great uncle passed away, Paul Barber, Danny sort of took me and my brother, Charles Barber, for his music concerned. Danny sort of took over me and my brother's career, music career. Danny's been, a very great part of my life,
In 1930, Daniel Moses Barker, the prodigious musical son of the Barberan family, tied on his banjo and headed north to pursue the same opportunities that had lured away a parade of New Orleanians. Barker strummed his banjo all the way to New York City. When he made it to the Big Apple, he stepped into the kitchen with his 6-string axe, where he cooked and cut it up with other legends like Cab Calloway, Benny Carter, Dexter Gordon, and Charlie Parker. He may have left the city physically, but spiritually he never left its musical traditions. After a 35-year sabbatical, like the prodigal son, this prodigious son of New Orleans returned to find New Orleanians forsaking their musical roots. Danny Barker brought them back to center. He made them love it again. He gave them the audacity to take it to the streets, with the same pride shown on the face of a young Louis Armstrong watching King Oliver parade by. He organized the Fairview Baptist Church Marching Band, a group of young lions that included Leroy Jones, Herlin Riley, Kirk Joseph, Greg Stafford, Tuba Fats, Big Al Carson, and Lucian and Charles Barberan. The roots of the Dirty Dozen Brass Band can be found in this group of musical stalwarts. He embraced the musical and cultural traditions even as he prepared for his transition. The Black Men of Labor Social Aid and Pleasure Club exist out of a promise to bury Danny with the traditions and respect that was acceptable to him. His musical tree is made up of all of the musicians and cultural bearers who have been directly or indirectly influenced by him. It is jazzy, it is funky, it is rock and roll, it is hip hop. Danny's musical tree is massive and it will continue to grow. Whenever musicians who have been touched by him touch others, one day his musical tree will have grown so tall, its canopy will pop its head through heaven's floor, and Danny will be there in that big kitchen in the sky with its 6-string axe, cooking and cutting it up with its musical sons. Tradition is a temple.
I got invited to Preservation Hall at the age of 15. My first time playing in the hall, as a gig. And I was doing other gigs around the city, but Mr. Barker asked me to come play in the hall with him. I was like, sure. I said, Mr. Danny, I don't know all them songs. He said, don't worry about it, son, I'm gonna teach them to you. Just keep your ears open. I said, no problem. So that was fun. I had a good experience with Mr. Barker.
He was a wonderful, funny, talented, crazy little man. Different. His voice is different. What did they say, save the bones for Henry Jones? Because he know me. Just things that you just think of, yeah. The stuff that he think of is just incredible,
An icon of New Orleans music and a historian and just an important figure. I think the thing that really impressed me about Danny was just his spirit. He just seemed to have just a great attitude about people and music and love for New Orleans and love talent and people who were talented. And I think that he was always supportive of young musicians that were up and coming. I loved him as a person. He's just a great spirit and just a really great human being. And I was just flabbergasted that when he passed away, he gave me his guitar, his that he used with Cab Calloway or whatever. So that was probably my greatest honor as a jazz musician, is to get the Danny Barker's guitar.
He took me to the Fairview Baptist Church, where he had a bunch of young musicians that he got together with. He taught me a lot about dynamics, how to swing. If it wasn't for Mr. Barker, I wouldn't be standing here talking to y'all right now, because he made a great impact on my life. He encouraged me a lot, and he helped me along the way. So I've always be indebted to Mr. Barker. That's my man, like my father.
Uncle Lionel helped me a lot doing, showing me how to dress, getting the women, of course. Uncle Benny, real cool cat, man. Showed me a lot of riffs and getting started, really gigging down here. I mean, Benny just took me under his wing and it was cool. Dogs in the hood.
Out and when they start playing it and this person's groove and then this person will add something to that groove and then the next person will, and then you got this group of people playing together and they got this groove and it's just locking together like this, 2 or 3 different horns, and each horn has its own little job that it does. One leads out playing a melody and the other 2 will accompany that. And this beat, this rhythm, oh my goodness, it's just indescribable. You're not gonna find it nowhere but here.
It never stops.
And it never stops. I mean, people up all hours of the day and night playing this music, and it's just a part of you.
second line parades are responsible for all of these musicians, because if all you got to show kids is like jazz that sound more like sort of concert music, right? You show them like Coltrane or Miles Davis, who are, you know, like phenomenal musicians, but you show them to like a 10-year-old and you say, hey, you want to play this horn? And they're like, nah, I'll rap, okay? But you let a parade pass in front of his house and he opens up his door and he sees, you know, people the age of his grandmother, and he sees all of his little friends, and he sees his parents and people their age, and everybody at one time just having like the time of their life. And then you look at him and say, hey man, would you like to play this trumpet? He'd be like, yeah, I would love to try and play that trumpet.
To Mr. Danny Parker's house and talked to Mrs. Lulu, his wife. And she said, well, you know, Danny don't want no funeral and blah, blah, blah. Because the kids not dressing them right, they're not performing the music right. So Greg Stafford and Fred Jones took it up on their own and talked to us, said, look, we're gonna make sure the band be in uniform, and we're gonna make sure that the band play the right type of music. And it turned out real successful. We had a big old band, and give them one of the best send-offs you ever could think about.
If you have lived in this life and you was what you call a true soldier, you automatically get a true funeral, what we call a real funeral.
Well, the jazz funeral is played with hymns and dirges. We usually start a block away at a nightclub or bar, and the band will start playing just a closer walk with these kind of up-tempo, and when we get close to the funeral parlor, we break the music down slow and we get ready to approach the funeral parlor. And when we get to the funeral parlor, Grand Marshal, when we get ready to do a dirge, get ready to bring the body out. So when they put the body in the hearse or the horse-drawn carriage, the Grand Marshal will start off with the left feet, left, right, so real slow tempo. We go so many blocks and we get ready to go to the graveyard. We cut the body loose.
Some of these people today have hundreds of funerals in New Orleans, but they're all not, you know, they're not like what I call a jazz funeral. They're just somebody might have paid for that funeral. See, that's what's going on in New Orleans now. When I was a kid, you couldn't pay for a jazz funeral. See, this is what I'm talking about. It means a lot to me when I came out my door as a kid and saw these people in uniform, my people, you know, coming down the street with a jazz funeral in uniform, black and white, clean, and everybody's walking in a procession. You know, the people on the side, what we call the second liners, they're on the sidewalk. The band's in the street with the procession, with the funeral procession, playing Nearer My God to Thee, A Closer Walk with Thee. Nice and slow, dirge. That's tradition.
Finish that dirge out. After the last call leave, we'll turn around. We may go back to a bar down the street where everybody go back and rejoice. because the dead person is going to a better place, and we give them the best send-off we ever can have.
You got people all over the world now. They spend money. They put it in their will. I want a jazz funeral. That's how popular jazz funerals are. That's how serious it is. The tradition started that. See, that's a tradition. People want to be a part of that tradition. See? Oh, wow, I want that. But it's something you earn.
When you can talk, they figure you can sing. So as soon as you can talk, they'll say, sing this, and you'll say, I don't want to. They say, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And then everybody's saying, you can do it, you're like, shoot, I can do it, you know. We always sung in the house. We make a song out of everything. It's ridiculous sometimes what we will make a song out of.
Remember that song we made up, cooking in the kitchen at Big Mama's house?
The Chapman Kitchen.
Yep.
We will meet.
Yeah.
In the Chapman Kitchen.
And we
will greet in the Chapman Kitchen. Yeah. We will eat in the Chapman Kitchen. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
First you put your 2 knees close up tight, and then you swing them to the left and you swing them to the right. You step around the floor kinda nice and light, and then you twist around with all your might. Stretch your loving arms way out in space, and then you do the eagle rock with style and grace. Put your right foot out, snatch it back. That's what we call bundle jack. Yeah, first you put your 2 knees close up tight, then you swing them to the left and you swing them to the right.
When I was a kid, maybe I may have been like 4 or 5 years old, I thought everybody in the world had this thing happen in their house.
Right.
I thought that everybody could play piano and everybody could sing. So when people used to come and visit me, they say, play me a song, you know. And I play a song and then I look at them and say, okay, now you play me one. And they look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, we thought it was like normal. Like, you know, walking around the house singing a song. I'll start singing something, and then she'll join in, and then she'll join in, and we're just working and singing and having a good time.
Knees close up tight, swing to the right. Step, step, like twist, twist, give it all you got.
You know, when I was carrying both of my kids, I continued to do music, so I know they heard that stuff. Because when they came out, they were like tapping on things, and I'd hear them humming tunes. I'm like, okay. She tells me, you know, things that I used to do when I was little. She said, oh, you used to sing notes, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, spread your loving arms way out in space, sing into the eagle rock with style and grace. Put your right foot out, snatch it back. That's what we call bundle jack.
And then this one, of course, she started singing with her to it, and she started trying to bribe us, you know,
Yeah.
pay her.
We had to pay her something for her to sing. She's like, I'm not singing a note till I get such and such. I'm like, all right,
You had to bribe her, you know. She want to make a deal with somebody
sometimes.
2 years old. She want to get paid for nothing.
They wanted music. They wanted me to be out singing in public with no funds.
Hi, my name is Morgan. Hi, my name is Morgan Gary.
Okay, let's just try it. Come on. The accent, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, bam! Bass drum. Not that hard. Control. 1, back-a-do, back, bop, bang, boom. Back-a-do, bop, bop, bang, boom. Back-a-do, bop, bang, boom. Back-a-do, bop, 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 boom. Play it again. Play the same thing. Just play it with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This your first time playing a second line groove. Let me tell you how many people across the world can't do that. But I got some folks in New York, and they try to play that, and you know what it sounds like? Corny. You might be speeding up a little bit, but it feels good. All right? That's just excitement. If you speed up a corny groove, what's it gonna sound like?
Corny.
Yeah, faster than huh? But yours feels good, okay? It's a lot different. You're already starting off in a good place. So the rest is just what? No, the rest is what? Practicing. So check it out. When you incorporate that along with the other stuff you're doing, then it's gonna start sounding like who? Mr. And Mr. Shh. And they sound, and so you'll sound.
Shooba-dooba-doop doop, dooba-dooba-doop doop, bop-bop. Shooba-dooba-doop bop, bebop. Let's do it again. Oh, when my dreamboat come on that river, I will drink no more. Yeah, Lord, on that river, I will greet you.
That's how you educate people by doing something that you really like that they might not like. Because I've had people come to me and say, you know, I never really understand jazz, but listening to you and watching you, I think I got an idea what jazz is all about. I said, well, thank you. That's the idea.
That you bring on that river. Oh, we'll be sweethearts, oh, forever, y'all. When my jibba-doop-doop, jibba-dibba-doop-doop, come on. Oh, when my dreamboat on that river, come on that river, I will drink no more. Yeah, Lord, on that river, I will greet you and meet you, hold you closely in my arms. Cooling water on that river, we'll drink y'all on that river. To that tender, tender love that you bring on that river. Oh, we'll be sweethearts, oh, forever, y'all. I wear my jibba-doop-doop, shooba-dooba-doop-doop. Come on. Come on, Jason. Come on, Jason.
Rainbows are the hidden messages of peace found in the movement of the alabaster clouds projected on the belly of the invisible sky. The yellow moon is the eyeball of a black cat who sleeps with one eye open to light witness to the miracles of pirouetting stars. Daylight is the sun's gift to Earth. It is delivered in 8 minutes. The lover boy sun is constantly in hot pursuit. Flattered, the earth occasionally trembles. Mountains are subsequent goosebumps. Trees are mostly temperamental. Sometimes they seem to blow with the wind, other times they stand silent, stoic, and still. Oak trees like to stand with this attitude like they are the royalty of the tree world, but their outstretched branches can't mask their surrender to something more majestic than they. Flanked between the earth and sky, The horizon is in a constant state of horizontal levitation like a magic carpet. The horizon is the X that represents the unknown. It is the North Star of the curious, the imagination's kick in the ass. If necessity is the mother of invention, then desire is the relentless father. The necessity to sail the ocean was born out of the desire to touch the horizon. Sane men have trekked across hostile deserts to sip her tea, taste her fruit, and locate the source of her magic.
You want to take it to another level. You don't want to just keep it at that same, because how can this music grow if you cannot take this music to another level?
Some of it draws more on from the tradition, but golly, there's a lot of really modern and truly unique musicians in New Orleans too. That's one thing that just astounds me for a city or metropolitan area that's so small relative to a lot of other cities. Just the number of amazing, unique musicians. I mean, there's just so many people with their own tone, and yeah, it's very modern, without a doubt.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
First thing I want them to do is to just groove, basically, move and, you know, feel what we're doing. I mean, one of the things that I got appreciation out of was when I was in Europe, and there was a tune that I wrote that was like a medium tempo, just straight up 32 bar tune, just swinging. And one of the things that was gratifying for me was when I'd look out in the audience and people in the audience, yeah. You could see that, because they got it. They got what that was. The second thing, I just want people to just scream because they enjoyed it so much. Say, yes, we loved that. Not, oh yeah, I think this is good. It seems impressive. No, I want them to get it and to enjoy it and believe in it.
One of the highest achievements in music to me is to actually bring something that may be complex, but have it sound very, very simple and it be very attainable. And if it's not good, then it's just, for somebody's enjoyment, it's a waste of time and money.
Everybody, you get all the guys from New York, they want to come to New Orleans first, before they go up to New York to go play. And then when they come to New Orleans to come try to play with us, they know they can't play. They can't keep up.
And there's all sorts of understanding. I mean, some people hear notes and they see colors and they understand it, you know, it like creates this whole world. But if it requires more specific technical information in order to enjoy it and to be moved by the music, there's probably something missing from the music.
In a semi-tropical valley surrounded by liquid mountains splashing above our heads, held back by flood walls and levees. We don't fear the water. It is provided for us. The sun-baked mist generates the steam that permeates our subterranean den, a spicy fusion of water and land energy, providing the base for this fragile bowl of cultural gumbo, made by the indigenous Americans and other members of the world diaspora, blown to the mouth of the river. Some cling to dreams, others tied to nightmares. They all bought their luggage, stuffed with the memories of their heritage. They bought their demons and their deities, their spice and their spite. They bought their dance and their song, their fears and their fight. This is an undistilled recipe that has been simmering for over 300 years, and it can be anywhere from finger-licking good to downright sickening, but never bland. We don't fear the water, we must coexist with it. African Americans masking as Native Americans on an Italian American holiday. Now the French, they say les bon temps roulés, so we let the music play until the roosters crow. Let the drinks flow, don't ever say no. And the musicians, well, they got the mojo, you know. They blow trumpets and trombones, bass and baritone being the song say so. And this ain't no museum piece. You got to lose control of your feet. You clap only after you dance. An eclectic assembly of steeples crafted over 3 centuries stand erect on a neighborhood skyline, overlooking the crescent like guardians of the flame, by acknowledging the gods and beseeching them to forgive us of our sins. Because even when we forget to care, in the city that care forgot, we got grace and mercy all over us. The hot air is thick like cold molasses, cotton sticks to skin. Each moment is ripe with the possibilities found in spontaneity. Its magic is fermented beneath the eyelid of night. We don't fear the water. We've planted our flag in this land.
No, you don't need that.
He's right. That's right.
That's for overdubbing.
Yeah.
We ain't doing no overdubbing.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on just a second. All right, now I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that too. I didn't hear him. Sorry about that. It's me. Sorry.
No, I wanted just you.
I just like that. I just enjoy this little life of mine. Entertaining, showing you how to dance or show you to play an instrument, something like that. I'm just a little joyful little man, you know? Joyful little man.
Mr. Joyful.
Everybody sing by and by. Oh, when that morning comes, all God's children will be gathering home. By and by. All right.